Good morning, traders out there. Who's ready to get back into the hot seat? It's another week and we're ready to get it started. Let's kick it off, of course, with every week we do the playbook, right? Let's take a look at what's in the playbook this week. Let's see what we can come up with. And like always, if you guys got suggestions for today's playbook, throw them up in the comments. I'll go ahead and I'll catch them and go through them during the live trading action. Let's get to it. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Let's kick it off. All right, guys, first up, we're going to take a look at Pakar, and this is one in the farm and heavy construction machinery. And I think this is very important to take a look at as we continue to start seeing the change in this conversation, right? For a second there was recession concerns, and that was actually a negative towards the industrials. But now the focus is just on the interest rates getting cut. And if the interest rates are going to get cut, well, then the high price ticket items, right, are going to be viewed a little bit better, right? Because now the financing of those items starts to come down and it actually makes them look more attractive. So I'll be watching the leader, of course, like Deere, or just watch the ETF like XLI, but also smaller name here, Pakar, is one to keep an eye out for. So take a look here at the chart. We'll take a look at what's going on in the stock. You can see how this has recently had a really quick down move, and it was down. It was a gap down towards the 100, now has went down there towards 92, has been holding that and starting to turn around. Now we're starting to hold that 9 EMA. I'd like to see that hold around 94.40. So 94 being the support right now seems to be a good area. Really need to start seeing it start to close up this area back towards 96 and 100 is what I could see maybe by the end of the week. We'll see what happens on Pakar. Of course, I also have a swing trade on in CAT and taking a look at Deere to see if that one takes lead, right? This is the one that needs the lead, maybe make a move to 400, and then we could definitely start watching the farm and heavy construction names as they all have a tendency of lagging the leader. All right, let's go to the second name here. We'll go to Lululemon, and I think this is an important one. Why? Because we saw the outlook and what happened with Warren Buffett, right? He said, I'm going to go buy on Ulta, and that actually helped the retail area already look a little bit better, plus the retail numbers that actually came in. So apparel stores is really what I'm looking at here. It doesn't necessarily need to be Lululemon. It could be different names like you can be looking at Abercrombie and Fitch. You can be looking at Urban. You can be looking at American Eagle. You can be looking even at Gap, GPS, right? So keep your eyes on these names. I do think that they're starting to get moving. Lulu, you can see how it had kind of that bottoming action. It's trying to fill in the gap. So this is kind of a gap play, try to fill. That's back up into this spot here towards the 280s and 270s. So that's an easy gap to start going and filling. We'll see what happens if we can take that out. Also be looking for hourly pullbacks to hold. So that's what I'd be watching on that. So if we look at it here, you can see how on the first resistance, it actually becomes a support. So somewhere around that 255.70 mark, maybe it's 255.50s or 255 overall. Right? It depends on how exact you want to be on your support, but definitely looking for washouts to that level to grab this Lululemon. All right, let's get to the next one here. Let's go to XLE, and this is all on oil because oil's been a little bit of a shake, and that's how it normally is, right? It doesn't trade just straight in one direction. It's usually a lot of back and forth, right? And so the range, you can see how we've gone up and down the range, and now I'm expecting to start to see this go right back to the upside. Part of what we got last week was that maybe a recession isn't coming. And if recession isn't coming, well, then energy sector shouldn't see maybe that hit, right? And so one thing I'm looking at is also the oil prices. Oil prices have been going up and down between pretty much 72 and up to 85, right? So if we start to see breaking into the 60s, that's the bearish outlook, right? And if we go back into the 80s, that's the bullish outlook going into the winter months. Of course, going into the winter months, I expect to see a lift. There usually is a lift, right? So we'll see what happens seasonally. If we start to get energy to get a lift here, it's something that's definitely on the radar, guys. That's going to do it for our playbook this morning. Like always, guys, this is a psychological, sometimes a pattern play, and sometimes it's just based on industry and outlook. The narrative that's out there right now for investors is something definitely to watch. We'll see what happens in industrials. We'll see what happens in, of course, Lulu and the retail area. And then we'll take a look to see what happens in energy, of course, all during the live trading right here on this stream. Where else can you get it? Of course, trade the pool. Let's keep going. Let's go to the next action. We'll go to the sunrise report, and it's a good sunrise. Let's see what's out there, what's moving, and of course, what we can find this week. Let's get to it, guys. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Sunrise Report. Of course, your daily dose of the financial market, looking inside what's going on today. We got another packed show for you guys. All the latest on the economic outlook, earnings, and some market movers. So let's dive right in. Let's first jump into, of course, we'll be taking a look to see what's going on in Jackson Hole, right? As we'll be taking more and more of an approach to see what's going on here, right? And what will Jerome Powell say about interest rates? Will he already give the outlook that we're cutting like 50 points in the next one and looking at maybe potentially getting down to a certain amount? These are what investors will be watching. Of course, that's going to come on Friday. So right now, I wouldn't be paying attention to it too much. It's going to be a lot of talk until you come up to that point, but definitely watch it, guys. That's going to be something to catch, and that's going to be on Friday, Jackson Hole Symposium. Jerome Powell, the big bad wolf. What will he bring? Find out, of course, on Friday. Let's go to the second one here. We'll talk a little bit about Estee Lauder, how I like to call it, Estee Slaughter here. Estee Slaughter reporting a Q4 24 result with an adjusted EPS of 64 cents, beating the expectations here. It's a big beat. It is 27 cents, right? And the sales weren't bad either. Sales at 3.87 billion beat the just slightly above the 3.83 billion forecast. But here's the disappointing outlook. It's the full year, fiscal year 25, as their expected EPS is between 278 and 298, well below the $4.02 estimate. And of course, weak demand in China is dragging down the stock. So another thing to add to the weaker China party, right? We've heard this from multiple mentions in retail. We've heard it from Starbucks. We've heard it from different areas out there. China is what struggles out there. So right now, unless you're seeing that change, you got to make sure that your company doesn't have that much exposure to China that it's dragging down the stock. We'll see what happens here. Let's kick it off with the next one here as the port is going out there. Let's go to the next one. We'll talk a little bit about Zim integrated shipping. On a brighter side, of course, this is not a bad move here in Zim. As you guys see it up, it's one of the leading stocks on the day. Zim integrated delivery, strong Q2 performance here. The EPS was at $3.08, far exceeding, of course, the $1.66 estimate, with sales hitting $1.93 billion, beating the $1.79 billion forecast. Plus, they raised their outlook and declared a 93 cents per share dividend. So definitely full steam ahead here for Zim integrated. We'll see what happens. Of course, it's the shipping stocks. The shipping stocks love to just make a big boom. So will this whole industry be on watch today? I definitely think so. Watch out. We'll take a look at it during the open. Let's go to the next one here as we kick it off with a favorite here, AMD, as it's making a strategic play here and announcing an acquire of ZT Systems, a leading hyperscale solutions provider, for $4.9 billion. Of course, this includes potential earnouts of up to $400 million. The move is expected, of course, by the end of 2025. It's right in line with AMD's ambitious AI strategy. So keep your eyes on this. We'll see how investors react to this in the morning. Will they hit AMD a little bit further, or will AMD just continue to rise? It's a nice acquire here, of course, pushing their AI strategy. We'll see what happens on that outlook. Let's get to the next one here as we take a look into Goldman Sachs recession forecast, as they've been moving all around, right? And we talked about it just earlier, and how recession concerns have slightly come down since last week in the data that we got. Now Goldman Sachs is coming in and trimming their U.S. recession probability forecast to 20% from 25%. This is, of course, reflecting slightly more of an optimistic outlook as the adjustment comes from economic indicators and seeing that we're seeing the easing of the recession fears and the looming market, right? So right now, the prior one was actually 15% and they moved it up to 25%. So now they're moving it back down. So you could see that they're even all over the place, right? If the banks are all over the place, if they don't know where things are going, well, let's just be honest. Probably we don't either. Now, is there still recession concerns? I mean, 20% isn't nothing, but it isn't at least, let's say, 25 or going closer into the 1/3. So we'll keep watch to see how the banks feel about this. And of course, we'll keep watch to see if recession is showing up in the data. That's what's going to lead. The data leads. And then, of course, recession comes after. We'll see what happens there. And lastly, guys, this is an interesting one. And I think this is one to definitely think about in the long run, especially for investors overall, right? Let's talk a little bit about this legal battle that's shaking up in the streaming world, right? Let me know if you guys knew a little bit about this, right? I would love to hear you guys in the chat. Venue Sports' streaming service is being blocked here. So a judge has halted the launch of this new sports streaming service. And this streaming service is actually a joint venture. It's with Disney, Fox, Warner Brothers, and Discovery. And they're getting a legal challenge. And by all names, who did you expect? Of course, Fubo TV coming in here and battling them, because Fubo's expected to be what? The sports expert, right? The best streaming place for sports. Well, the truth is, it's not the best streaming place for sports. And Fubo, I know that I've interviewed you before. The CEO is probably going to call me after this show, but I'll tell you what, guys, I like to keep things straight. This streaming service of Venue would be really interesting, right? Because the truth is, if you think about where the sports are, they're in these names, right? Disney, Fox, Warner Brothers. And they have a true competition if they can combine together, right? Fubo won't be able to compete. Let's just be honest. But the judge coming in here and saying that this would actually go against antitrust concerns and hitting this and stopping it, at least for the time being. And so Fubo TV is actually soaring 17% off of this. So the court's decision, of course, to highlight the ongoing tensions in the streaming industry where competition is fierce and the stakes are high here. We'll see how this actually develops. Of course, there's been more and more mentions of sports going to streaming services versus just staying on the cable. And this is something that will actually affect all these companies, big names, right? Disney, Fox, Warner Brothers. Keep an eye on their price action today. And also take a look to see if maybe this court decision gets reversed and Fubo actually takes a hit down. That'd actually be another opportunity, right? There's two trades here to make. We'll see what happens. That's going to do it for us today, guys, on today's Sunrise Report. Of course, thanks for joining me this morning. We'll get over now to the live trading action. And of course, stay tuned for more updates throughout the day and throughout the week. This is where we got to give you guys the information on why stocks are moving and what stocks are moving out there. I hope that you guys enjoy the Sunrise Report. We always put it out on our Twitter and our Discord, so definitely keep up with that if you guys want to catch this in the morning as it first comes out. That's it for us now. Time to get you guys over to the live trading action side of things. And it looks like we might have something new. Ooh, check it out, guys. What do you guys think?
Google wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at. What up, Traders, how we doing out there? Ready to get back into the trading seat? It's been a great morning already. You know your boy Money Mitch has been taking more and more pre-market trades and going well, whether it be on the long side or the short side. Today, I actually completed a short on the side of things in the penny names, but I've been playing both sides. To tell you the truth, on the morning, it's been doing better on the long side. I'm kind of missed the long opportunity, so I said, you know what? Let's go tackle VRAX on the downside of things. And Money Mitch already in the green. Let's keep it going. You guys know where you're at. And I did hit my goal last week, guys. We did more than that $1,000. So really happy. Ended it off Friday up about 326. So with that being said, was up over the 1,000, closer towards the 11 and 1,200. So can't be mad at all. Doing really great in the account, swinging things back. And we're going to keep it going this week. You guys smash it up out there. Let me know one habit that you guys are working on to make improvements. I've talked about the habit that I've been trying to make improvements on, which is starting slow and then sizing up. This is also what helped me out this morning. So let's take a look. All right, let's go to the action. Let's see what we got here. And of course, there might be still some play on this one. VRAX starting to jump up again here after it came back to support. $5 being the support. I'll be watching this stock because if it can't get over above 650s, I think at some point this comes crashing down. But that doesn't mean that I can't play it, right? This thing ripped up, guys. This was VRAX. I was able to tackle this, guys, and go short on it towards the $6. I was looking for a $6 rejection. It actually started to squeeze pretty strong, got up there closer towards the 650s, and I was feeling the pressure. And then it started to break down. A big part of the VRAX trade is this 15-minute pattern. And so you did get this little push back towards the 650s, but I was looking for this candle to hold and the close be closer to it. And that's exactly what happened. It did go to a high there of 656, but the close on this candle is back down towards 542. And so it did make that push up, but immediately back through the low. And what did it do when it did that? It changed the higher low trend. So there was a higher low trend for a little while now. There was 6 candles or something like that, 7 bars that were straight green. And then I was looking for a higher low to be broken. And that's exactly what I got here. So mean reversion trade. Could I have held the trade and kept going? Yes. But the idea here is for it to be a mean reversion. Just come back to the VWAP, come back halfway, and that's all I need. So that was the profit take. Not a bad one. Got a nice little $147 cushion to start the day. And I've been trying to do this more and more. Yes, this could also cause a red trade in the morning and cause a little bit more pressure. But I feel like lately I've been doing really good, especially towards 7 a.m. So you penny stock traders out there, be alert. You got to start early. It's not at 8 a.m. I've been noticing more and more 6:30 to 7 is a prime time to look for opportunities for entry. Like always, guys, you guys got to call your own shots there. But hey, keep a lookout. And the fun part of Trade the Pool, you could trade so many names in the morning. There's so many names that are moving. And what I do is I just use my scanners. I say, where's the top move? And let's go see if I can trade it, right? I've done it plenty of times, and we can keep getting after it. Let's take a look around, guys. And if you guys got a name you guys want to take a look at, throw it up in the chat. I haven't taken a look at some of these, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this one. MRVI, you can see how it's holding sideways right now. Not a bad stock to keep a watch on the hourly, but there's nothing like the one that we missed yesterday on Friday that I was watching it for the move, 380 to 4. But did you see where Govx went, guys? This stock went all the way up to $8 and past 850s. And in this morning, this stock was up there towards 1180s. Wow, what a move there in Govx, guys. I'm actually thinking that this will come crashing back down. I don't feel like it should be up at $12, guys, but that's how it goes, man. And this thing has made a boom before, and it dropped like a rock the second day. So I'll be watching to see what happens on that, to see if we start to get that down action. But right now, it got up there towards the 1180s. I think it can make one more attempt into that spot. So you can see here on the 15-minute, you've had 1, 2, 3 touches towards the 1180s. Look to see what happens on that next run to 1180s. It's so important. You could either play it on the way up, like I could also just long it to the 1180s, get out at that spot, and look to reverse back down. But it's whichever way you want to take a look at it. Do I see another 1180 touch? Yes. but I also see that near the topping action. So we'll see what happens there in Govx, Govx Labs. What a move, man. And really, it was a big one. All right, guys, seeing some other ones this morning moving out there. Rocket Labs trying to get back through 7. So this was a big move on Friday that wasn't bad at all. I was able to play, guys. Of course, I was playing Planet Labs, which actually gave me a really nice win. Can't be mad about Planet Labs. And another one that gave me a really nice win on Friday was a short on GNLN. I was able to really nail this bad boy back to $10, and it's back to $9.98. So this could actually come crashing down a little bit further today. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to get in front of it too early. I want to see what happens a little bit later in the day to see if it starts to bounce back, because it could easily just bounce back to 10, 11s, 12, 14s. This thing is a monster when it moves, but just be careful with it. We'll see if it starts to crash back down. Grow Technologies showing up today. GRWG. So this is Grow Generations Corp. Of course, this company, I have like a sour taste from this company, right? But I'll tell you guys the truth. I always tell you guys it straight up. So with Grow Generations, GRWG, the biggest thing for me is they got me a little upset, man. There was a time where I was going to interview this company. They lined up everything. They lined up their CEO, they lined up their CFO. They were ready to kind of talk about things. They even were going to have me go. I was going to go to the stores and interview kind of like managers to see how things were moving and things like that. And then out of nowhere, they canceled everything. They said, no, we're not doing anything. We're done. We're not going to get into the media right now. And then they just completely went into hiding. That to me is not something I want to see from my investment. But like always, I mean, that was back then. That was back in during this time when the stock was booming, right? The stock was 30, 40 bucks probably at that time. But hey, now the stock is what? $2 and starting to jump up. So we'll see if this can actually make a move. Of course, this is Grow Generation Corp, which makes supplies for cannabis like growing or just overall plant growing, hydroponics, things like that. They have different things. It doesn't only need to be for growing cannabis, right? You got soils. It's pretty much a gardening store, but your higher end gardening store, right? We're not talking Home Depot. We're talking like real focused on things, different kind of nutrients and things that you can get. Well, Grow Generations has these huge warehouses, and that's supposed to help them get the products to places in the United States. But I actually think that's a negative. In this day and generation, I don't think you need huge warehouses. I know that Amazon is able to pull that off, but that's because they have that much manpower. I think personally, you need to be able to maybe ship things, but also not be at the point where you're losing out on margins because you have these huge warehouses. But hey, to each his own. Take a look at Grow Generations. We'll look to see if it goes today. All right, let's keep it going, guys. The SPY overall has been, of course, just a complete monster move. I mean, take a look at the amount of green days we've had, right? I mean, we've only had pretty much one red day in the last like 10 bars, and it's been up about 7%. So at some point, we are going to have a red day, guys. Just keep that in mind. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but definitely the SPY is something to watch. That 555. Can he go back through it? Can he go to the 558? Can he go to 560s? It's still available. We'll see what happens there. Let's go to AMD. Of course, AMD announcing that news this morning was getting a little pop off of the morning, and now it's already back to 149. I talked about how this stock looked like it could go back to 150, and that was the 200 EMA. But now it looks like it could just reject. I don't see AMD back at 180. I don't see it. I see this as more of a rejection where the bears can get it at the 155 and knock it right back down. So AMD to me actually might look like a short today. We'll see what happens there. All right, another one that's starting to come down is SMCI. And this one had a big move. It had a lot of option play to the bullish side. So when you start to see a lot of that option play to the bullish side, I feel like you could get a nice run, and you got it. But now you could also get a nice cut down. So we'll see what happens in SMCI. It has made a nice little weekly candle and could go back to the 700. That's where I see kind of the upside. But downside action right? If it doesn't fill this gap back towards 670 and 700, it could easily just reject right around this resistance around the 831s, 850s, and then start to work back below the 600. So keep your eyes on that SMCI. We'll see what happens there. All right, guys, smash the like. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Let's see what we can come up with. And of course, you guys keep throwing up your tickers. What are you seeing in the market this morning? All right, let's go. Let's go. Boogie Woogie in the house. Dick. What's up out there? Okay. Tato in the house. Let's go, baby. Hot potato out here. All right, Par, what's going on? Not much over here. Google, CrowdStrike, AMD. Maybe, but gapping into resistance. We'll see what happens out there. DKNG, looking for 15 pop, a $1 pop. We'll see what happens on DKNG. I know there's been recent you got some gambling companies to start making some numbers out there. We'll see what happens on that one. ALZN, short below 6. Day trade Tony. Day trade with Tony. Let's take a look at that one. ALZN. All right, that one's starting to drop down here. We'll see. How's that one doing? Look at that cut down below 7. All right, so we've had that 1 bunch up, 2 bunch up, 3 move, 4 move fail around the 7. Let's see it on the 15-minute here. So there you guys see it, how it's kind of holding in right now. There's the resistance around the 682. You recover that and watch out for the breakout above 7. But other than that, it starts to reject that level, right? And so now that you've had what? 1, 2, 3, 4 times to try to break above the 7 and fail. Now you start going back into what? The ABC kind of correction, right? And so at this point, you need to see if it breaks 6. That's the important level where it could keep cutting down. It could also bounce off of 6, right? And so that's another level to look for if you're a bull here. Maybe a 605 cut down closer towards this 580s and starts to come right back up. Of course, the VWAP right underneath and around that 580. So that's the level that I'd be looking at. But a move back to 7 is still possible. Just needs to get through that 682. It's not a bad looking one. Of course, these are all biotechs. They all come up and down, right? So keep an eye on it. And I like how he's saying below 6, right? Because if you do crack that 6, you start to break down. 580s needs to hold. If the 580s don't hold, then you're easily back into, like, let's say 5 and even below towards the $4 spot. So not a bad one to keep an eye out. We'll see what happens out there. SMCI options are crazy expensive. Yes, they are. I mean, it's an expensive stock. So with that being said, of course, the options are also going to be expensive. And there's probably a lot of premium. And another thing to note with SMCI is the float isn't so high. So that also plays into the factors there. Yaz, what's up out there? How's everything doing, Yaz? I hope everything's going great. I hope you're able to keep going forward and keep pushing in your accounts. I hope to look forward to hearing an update, but definitely keep battling out there. It's always good to see you guys. All right. I was looking at the same day trade Tony. Hey, look at Shane. Shane's looking at the same day trade Tony on that ALZN. We'll see what happens on it. I'd give it that one chance to go back to that 682, fail at 7, and then I can just go shorting off the high of the day, which is a 724 outlook. That's not bad, right? So we'll see what happens on this one. See if maybe we can get a quick move to the upside out the gates, and then they come and hammer down, right? All right, guys, let's keep it going. It's 9:01. We still got about 30 minutes here before the bell. Let's go, guys. Let's see what we can find in the market and see what we can trade. Maybe we can even trade something here before the open. VRAX continuing to come down, rejecting that 560. Tells me that we could keep coming down on VRAX. So I could go for a little bit of a scalp here back below the 5. That's not a bad outlook. You see that rejection of 560s, that would be the risk right now. If it recovers 560, you can get back to the 650. So that's going to be the important spot there for VRAX. And I'll be watching some of these biotechs. At least not mad at all, as I got a nice little gain this morning. Going to continue to look to see if I can get a little bit more. But hey, can't be mad. It's been a great morning, and we'll keep getting after it here, guys. Healthcare names, keep an eye out on Eli Lilly. That's been lately hot and continuing to push back towards the upside. That can continue to work with the health names, right? So keep your eyes on that. We'll see what happens also in the financials as this has come back ripping and roaring, but could turn around, right? I think we're starting to get towards that point where we're a little bit extended. So take a look at like JPM, right back up to the highs. Goldman Sachs right back up to the highs. Will these names just continue to rip off? Something to look at. KRE was something that I was pointing to on Friday for a little bit of a move. Now, I think it's going to fill the gap, but after that, I'll be watching to see if it gets another takedown, right? So the gap fills right above it towards 55.70s. I wouldn't be shorting it today, but I'll be watching the financials, the bigger banks, to give me a lead. Will those start to crack? And then tomorrow, maybe KRE really starts to let go. We'll see what happens there. All right, morning. What's up out there, Nendo? Boom, boom, baby. Let's go. It's time to step it into second gear and see what we can find. All right, looking at Google popping. All right, let's go take a look at Google. And if you guys remember what was on Mitch's playbook on Friday, you guys know it. Your boy was putting Google on there. Why? Because of the regulatory issues that were there. The stock wasn't moving because of antitrust concerns. But the truth is, if you shake those, you can start getting the stock to move up because it's lagging the action. And it should have got the lift already. So we'll keep to watch to see what happens on there. But not a bad one to watch here. Let's take a look at Google. Google starting to come back, and look at the sign right there. It looks interesting now as it starts to work back and get back to this level, the 168, 170, and then it can really start to climb. So not a bad outlook this morning. Google starting to lift off. And there's a reason why it was on the playbook Friday, and it shook that concern. It made a nice move. Take a look at the chart, guys. It was a really nice chart play, even on Friday. So you guys can see how that popped up there to the 167, pulled back as like a flag, and now this morning getting hot in the pre-market and going right back up to that resistance and pushing back to the upside. So this is a clear example of technology was all looking great, even though there was antitrust concerns on Google. It wasn't a bad one to just come after, right? I mean, what's the worst thing that happens? Google splits up. Maybe it would have taken a little bit of a hit there, but it would have probably come back because it's just a negative outlook, but not negative to the business, really. It would have just caused a split up further. But hey, Google, nice move there. Let's see if it can start working its way back to 173 and 176. Keep your eyes on this one. It could lead the day and actually be pushing stronger than some of the other names because it was weaker going into the move. So I'll keep an eye on it. Not a bad one there. Google getting going, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Also, keep a look on different names, guys. I've been taking a look to see what would happen in Zillow and kind of the home stocks, right? ITB is one way to maybe take a look at this, the home construction index. Keep your eyes on this, as I think this could pop right back to that 124. So this is not a bad one to watch, right? Back above the 116. I haven't traded the ITB before, like actually traded it. I use it a lot as an indicator to show me what's going on. And it actually includes stocks like Home Depot and Lowe. So keep your eyes on that. We'll see what happens with this. If we're able to kind of catch this, I'll be watching it. It's not a bad move here. And look at this, FND, even Floor Decor getting a little bit of a lift there. Tells me more and more how the retail names are starting to get a little bit of a pop, a little bit of a turnaround. So keep your eyes on that. And that tells me that, yeah, I want to go shorting Victoria's Secret, but it's not right now. I need to start seeing a little weakness come in, and I'll keep watching to see if stocks like ANF make a move to the upside, AEO make a move to the upside. I would love for these to make new highs because definitely at some point I want to short the crap out of these. But the truth is, right now, it's probably not the time. You're fighting it, and with the retail outlook looking a little better, I think what we need to do is wait till we get the next wave of recession concerns. If we can wait to that moment, then we can go hammering all these names that get a little bit of that leak up, start to break those shorts, and then boom, we join it on the move down. Well, that's what I'll be watching for in these names. And can't forget Tesla. Yeah, never forget Tesla. It's a dragon, right? It's a dragon. Let's take a look at Tesla right now. How's it trading? We're up there towards 217. We were looking at it just on Friday to see if it would make a move there up towards the 218, 215s. It's made a nice move now. Now I think we need to start looking for rejection back down. At some point, I feel like Tesla is going to come right back down and give us an opportunity to get this into late September. So I'm going to be looking for this to come back here, back towards 188, 190. If we can get another bottoming event back down there, yes, I'll be coming back to look at Tesla. You can see on the weekly how you're trying to get back there towards the 230s, 250s, 260s. Maybe they drive it right back. You're in that in-between stage because the reason why this move happened was the robotics. Robotics isn't scheduled to come in until October. And so you got to think about that. Do I want to front run the move that much ahead of time, more than a month ahead of time? Now, you could also be thinking is, hey, well, maybe they actually try to front run this move again and they drive the stock higher, get it back up there towards the 270, and then it goes closer to the robotics day, maybe at $300, but it's a topping point and it's a sell the news event and buy the rumor. Well, the trade's there now. The question is, do you want to come after it now or do you want to wait a little bit and try to time it out? Personally, for me, I'm looking at more of a pullback opportunity, get back to 200, and then I'll take the shot off the 180s or 170. Doesn't seem like a bad outlook. We'll see what happens in Tesla. Let's keep going, guys. What else you guys got out there? Of course, NVIDIA is the top watch, one of the top watches, right? I was looking at this one all week last week to see what would happen to it. It's right back up pretty much to the split price, the split day. So can it come back and really start to take out highs? That would be something to look for. Of course, you can draw this trend line and it goes right towards around 127, 130. So that could act as resistance, right? I think it definitely has room to go towards the 128 and 130 area. So on right now, short term, it's looking bullish. It's looking bullish. It could still hold these moves and keep pushing higher. We'll see what happens there in NVIDIA. All right, looking around out there, guys, seeing what I can find. Yin is one to kind of take a look at because China has been hot. And boy, oh boy, was this not a bad trade last week to take a look at. We were starting to see this on an inverse head and shoulders, looking for it to start to pop above. And it's had a really nice move. So keep your eyes on a lot of these tech names to see what happens in China. Baba is one that's been just lift off, 83s, 87s. Really nice name and lifting off. JD. Big push, 29 now. Really nice move. PDD, one that just continued moving up higher. I've talked about how this is the best of breed in China now and continuing to stay strong. So keep your eyes on that. That could keep continuing to push this higher. If you look at the FXI up towards 2652, and we can watch to see how some of these other names kind of perform. But definitely the big boys doing pretty well there. And keep an eye to see how these stocks perform. FXI, of course, you're looking at your China 25 index fund. So the top names, those are doing well. All right, let's take a look there. Mickey D's. Let's take a look at Mickey D's. Mickey D's going up there to the 280s, 290s. And of course, recession concern was the reason why McDonald's was down. I talked about how you could start to see other restaurants start to get the lift, right? Wing stop, maybe get the lift, right? That's looking like it wants to go back through 400. What about Domino's Pizza, right? DPZ, maybe back through 460 and starting to move back here towards the 477. We'll see what happens on these restaurants. Can they make a move higher? And overall, how are restaurants looking here? Let's take a look here. I know I have it right here. Restaurants. Boom. Look how this has really started to get hot. The industry overall is definitely looking good. So keep your eyes on that. Who's going to get their cake? We'll see if the Cheesecake Factory starts to make a move back to 40s. I just want some cheesecake. What can I say, guys? Good morning to you guys out there. How we doing? Who's ready to get to the market open? It's 9:12, up a little bit here on VRAX. Going to take a look out in the market to see what's happening. VRAX still going sideways off of that cut down move and really not mad at taking the profits because I took profits right around this level. It hasn't gone anywhere. Now it's trying to cut down the $5, go a little bit lower. It's not a bad outlook that it cuts to 5 and keeps coming back there towards like maybe even 4 here right out the gates. We'll see what happens. 912 down to 505 there. And keep your eyes on different names. We got a lot out there. Let's get ready for the open here. I'm going to go ahead and take some of these down. Make sure that we got our other scanners ready to go. And if you guys got a name, maybe throw it up there. $5 is a big bid there, 7,000. We'll look to see if it can go through that $5 or does it ramp back to the 560s. So that's going to be where you can start to push back towards the 650s. So I'd be looking above 561s to see if we start making a move. CDNA is another one, a known runner. We'll see what happens on this one. CareDex. Look at this monster of a chart coming back. But is this the topping action? I don't know, man. I don't know too much about this diagnostic and research stock, so I need to do a little bit more if I'm looking to kind of just jump on it and kind of hit it down. Next spot could be 42. Before this, you got 35. So 35 is pretty close. If that starts acting as resistance, this could start to let go. But for right now, it did make a pre-market move to 34.98. AZN moving fast. Let's go see it. ALZN. Let's go. There's the move back through 680s. I talked about it. Back through 680s. You could take 7. Look what happened, guys. It hit right up there. Got up there to a fake out to the 680s, 670s. Pulls back on the 9 EMA. Holds the 636. Recovers at 682. And it comes right back to it. It breaks it right here, 690. It opens the next candle. 688. It goes right back down to the 683, 682. Boom. And then rips through the 7. Up there now to the 795 and could keep going. So in my eyes, there's no reason for this one to stop. So that's why I was a little bit concerned about the $6 cut down move, that we needed to see it cut through the 580s, but recovers right there back towards 7, now 770s, and could keep going. The flag on this bad boy was what? Let's see here. $3.74. So, I mean, $3.74 from here. You're talking a big move. You're talking a move back towards $10, $10.23 on the max outlook. And we're talking max, right? But we'll see what happens there. 15-minute looking pretty well. I'd look for pullbacks towards like $7 to kind of hold. That's what I'd be looking for on pullbacks. We'll see what happens. So you see this 5-minute and how it goes to the 682 right there. Some 7 to 682 doesn't look too bad on a pullback. We'll see what happens. 915. This stock ripping already. Doesn't look too bad. What about GOVX? How's that one doing? It's hanging out off this 1050. We'll see what happens on this one. Moving all around. How do you guys feel about this one? I'd like to catch you guys in the chat. It's an interesting name, that's for sure. All right, let's take a look out there. What else is making a move from the closing price? I'm taking a look out there. CRL, Moderna up 1%. So that's one thing that I'm catching out there. Moderna, what's going to happen with that? When is that going to get a little bit of a lift? I don't believe it, but hey, to each his own, right? We'll see what happens there. KMX doing pretty well. KMX, of course, doing well because of what happened on the CPI report. CPI report gave us that a lot of the used car inflation was coming down, and that could actually help CarMax here, help control their margins a little bit more and get it back above 85 and 90s. Big resistance coming to it, but also could be helping Carvana, as Carvana made a nice move on Friday and kept pushing higher. We'll look to see if this can continue to push. It's not a name I really like up here, but it is still getting some support. We'll see what happens. MRVI. Marivel Life Science Holdings. Don't know this one, guys, but we'll keep watch. I talked about how this one had that hourly sideways action. Doesn't look too bad. I always love hourly sideways after a big pop because that tells me that you got consolidation at the top end of the range, which could always mean that you're having some more buying at the top end. That's something that I'd keep a watch on. I'd look for this to kind of try to cut down through towards the 925s, 912s, come back up ramping through 10. We'll see what happens there. All right, looking around, trying to catch some other names out there. What's up? What's up, guys? What are you guys looking at? PL, Planet Labs, can that one keep going? It does. It does look like it could keep going. I could go long this bad boy right now. I really like the daily chart. Daily chart looking great. Now I look for 250s to hold. So if you're looking for a smaller name that has a little bit more security in it, what I mean by security in it, I don't think PL is going to zero today or going to take let's say a 40% move down, right? So I'd be looking for this trend lines to hold. So maybe a pullback back towards 250, 255, but you're looking pretty good. You've had 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th attempt to break that 260. In my eyes, this is always like that make it or break it stage. So we should see that break. Now the question is, will it break, right? Should, would have, could have. Like we'll find out, guys. 259 looking like it wants to break that 260. I could go in right now and then kind of add at the 250. It's not a bad one to be in. I'll keep watch on Planet Labs. Of course, this one had a deal mentioned. It was going up with a SpaceX rocket. It did go up. Nothing happened to that rocket, at least, right? You can trust SpaceX. Boeing, we ain't going to talk about Boeing, but hey, Boeing, what are you doing out there, man? What are you doing? Now I see that their astronaut is having eyesight problems because they're stuck in space for too long. Boeing, get your act together, man. And media out there, stop being so nice to Boeing. I know they're paying you underneath the sheets, but the truth is, man, hit them where they hurt, man. Space doing bad, airlines doing bad. Boeing, that's a bad reputation. And that brand is slowly but surely dying. It's dying. It just has so much money that it stays alive. Why? Because it goes and lobbies and pays out that situation. But the truth is, it ain't looking good for Boeing. It ain't. Rivian looking good intraday long. Let's take a look at that. And we could also take a look at the miners. As the situation goes further and further away from looking negative, look at CleanSpark this morning. Trying to break 12 already. Of course, I made a really nice trade on CleanSpark prior. I'm going to keep looking at this one. This was on the radar on Friday. It was on the playbook. Could keep running here. I'm looking for a move back towards 13. Keep your eyes on these guys. Rivian, let's take a look at that. Down to 13.34s. Could get a little bit of a bounce. Man, I don't feel too confident about this one. This is more of a gap fill type of play on the downside where it could go to 12.38s and then start working higher. You need Tesla ripping and roaring. I never trade Rivian to the upside unless Tesla's ripping. I just keep it like that. Water cooled, if you want to not maybe take that trade, hey, it's always your decision. But to me, I will not touch it unless I see Tesla doing great. If Tesla's doing great, yes, I look at Rivian, I look at Ford, I look at GM. But when Tesla's not doing great, that's when you can see these names continue to leak. Ford slowly starting to come back with that GM move, with the Tesla move. GM slowly starting to come back. So maybe this is the chance to grab it here. We'll see what happens. Rivian has been weak during this time. We'll see if it breaks down the support, $13, and goes lower. I could see that 12.30s and then recovering 13 is when I would be looking at it. But keep your eyes on it. We'll see what happens there. All right, guys, not a bad one to watch. Of course, we'll keep watch to see what happens out there. A lot of stocks to kind of watch. Consumer cyclicals will definitely be a big radar watch out there. I'm seeing AZO out there. This is up towards 3,200. Could keep going. AAP was one that I was looking at just a little while ago to make a swing trade on. This actually looks good today. I don't really like this company long run. I feel like it struggles in this space to battle against AZO and O'Reilly's. But the chart pattern right now looks pretty interesting. I really like this undercut here 2 weeks ago at the 60. Now you start coming back towards the resistance. Could break right back towards like 68 and 70. So that's definitely in play. Nice little bunch up on the last 3 days. Take out the high here, 63.12, 63s, and then you can really start to move on this one. Doesn't look too bad today. We'll see if it starts to make the move. Goes to 63.47, and I'll catch it there, guys. All right, guys, it's 9:21. We still got 9 minutes to the bell. How much have we gone through already? This is the stream to be at, guys. Hit the retweets. Hit the like down below if you're on the YouTube side of things, and let everybody know. That's what we need more here, guys. We need everybody to tell everybody that this is the place, right? Because the truth is, I know you have traders out there that you have friends with. Let them know this is the place to join, guys. And like always, hit that subscribe down below. We'll keep it rocking right here and see what we can come up with. There's so much stocks moving out there that, hey, there's going to be opportunities. There's always opportunities in the market. The question is, can we get it? Who's getting into the pool? I think a lot of us, but who's getting out is more important. Keep it going, guys. Let's see what we can come out with. XRT, definitely to watch. Retail names. Keep your eyes out there, guys. That's going to be moving all around today. And I think it's something to keep an eye out for. Of course, Starbucks will be one to watch. their new CEO focused out there. The stock got right back to the upside on Friday. Can it take out the highs? We'll see. Hourly levels highs are towards 95.50s. And there's been multiple attempts to break that. So keep your eyes on that level. I'd be watching to see if we break above that. Below 93s is where I could look to see a Starbucks break down. Right now, it has about a $2 range there that it can go up and down in. Catching up with you guys in the chat. What's up out there, Nando? Good job. Hit the like. Yeah, let's go, man. We're going to keep it moving. We'll keep looking at different stocks, see what's moving out there. We can, of course, take a look to see what's on the unusual volume. We can take a look to see what's standing out there. But there's another one that I talked about in my Sunrise report, Zim Shipping Services. Let's take a look at this one. This one got the big boost off of the report, and it's pushing, guys. It's towards 21.89, and it's made a high in the morning towards 22.68. So there's some nice potential reward here. And in shipping, it's something definitely that I'd keep an eye out for. There's other names here that could make a move, right? Of course, Zim is one of the big ones, but you got other ones making a move too. You got Kex, that's Kex, another one that could start to push, right? I'd be watching these shipping companies because sometimes they move all together and they start to just make a nice little drive. Of course, there's the big remembering of 2018 when I traded these shipping stocks. This is what probably made me a trader, guys. There was a point in time when the shipping stocks were moving in 2018, and I actually made a killing on these. So much that I walked into my finance class. It was an advanced derivatives options class. And I told my professor, I was like, you know what, professor? You know this stock, it was Eagle, EGLE. And I was like, you know what, Eagle Shipping, you know what, tomorrow it's going to run more than 100%. He looked at me and said, you know what, Money Mitch, you're absolutely crazy. What do you mean this is going to run more than 100%? What has gotten into you? What do you see there? Why would it move 100%? He told me. Give me the why. And I said, you know what? I think it's the dry Baltic index that's telling me that this is going to move. He said, the dry index? Where did you make this up, Mitch? And I showed it to him. The dry Baltic index. It exists, guys. Let me actually look it up here. The dry Baltic index. Oh, man. Sometimes you really come up with some things when you're in the investment world. And that's what I was looking at, guys. So I'll show you guys what the Baltic exchange is. And so this shows a little bit more of like that action, right? And what happens with that. But just taking a look at it here. And I was like, yeah, this is why it's going to move, guys. This is why it's going to move, because the dry Baltic index. And the next day, the stock goes more than that 100%. The stock goes like 268%. Yeah, I got on the professor's good side. Let's just say that much. and ever since then, I realized, man, I'm addicted to this trading stuff. And that's how it happens to all of us traders. There's usually one trade that gets us in. It keeps us in. And at that time, I was really big into like learning options and quickly started moving more into the equities. The options were an option, haha, pun intended. But the truth is, the equities made more sense to me. All right, guys, let's keep going. Woohoo! Made it before the bell. Welcome, Wisdom. It's looking good today. We'll see what happens. All right, China names looking good. Maybe we'll get a China turnaround. It's 9:26 here, guys. We're getting towards the bell. Of course, S-Day slaughter coming in today with a warning in China. But look at this, guys. It's already climbing back. Why is it climbing back? Well, Money Mitch talked about it this morning with XRT in the retail outlook. Recession is out the window. They kicked it out, guys. They said, get out of here. We don't need you no more, recession. So now this actually looks better. Stocks like in this space, stocks in different spaces. Look at Best Buy. This could get a little bit of a lift. Specialty retail names, definitely on the watch. Take a look also. Home, household products goods. Procter & Gamble. Defensive names actually looking pretty decent. Even though the recession concerns are going away, this thing did rip up Walmart did really well, right? That gapped up to 74. We'll see what happens there in Walmart. Costco did really well off of this report. We'll keep watch because things can flip, but right now it's still looking good, guys. 928. Let's go take a look at the SPY overall market, kind of going sideways here. Did make an attempt to break through the high there. 15 minutes, 555, important level. Now we got a double top there. Take a look a little bit later, especially let's say by 9:45. If we can't clear 555, that could be a good sign that we're in for the red day. Of course, it could still happen, guys. We've had so much green. We could have a red day. Am I saying it's going all the way back down? No, but there could just be leaks to hourly supports. We'll wait and find out towards the open. Let's get it. Let's get it, Wisdom. Let's see what we can come up with. And like always, traders out there, if you guys got a name that's moving or a trade that you guys want to talk about, throw it up in the chat. I'll make sure to catch it during the stream, and we'll keep getting after it. You guys know where you're at. It's, of course, Trade the Pool. You guys bring the A game. We got the rest covered here. Can't wait to have Michael back on. You guys saw from that intro, I need to have Michael on more often. I always love trading with him, and it's always good to have different traders out there. If you're a trader and you're looking to join the show and at least hang out, come trade with me. Hey, reach out. I'm always willing. Let's keep it going, guys. More than 82 of you guys now watching in. So hit the likes, hit the retweets. If you're on X, you're catching this right now, do me the favor. Just hit the comments. Hit the comment and just put one ticker that you expect to move today. I'll take a look at it. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look what else is moving. SPY coming down here. VRAC still battling that $5 spot. So we'll look to see if that cuts down below that. We can take a look to see how Govx is doing. Of course, just hanging out at that 1060s. It's going to be so important towards the bell to see what happens on this one. We'll see what happens to see if it gets that up move or down move. There's the AL. I think it's ALDX, but I'm just going to take a look there. I know the chat was talking about it. ALZN. Don't know where I got that one. DX is another one. ALZN. We'll see what happens on there. There's 930, guys, holding the $7 pullback here. So 680s looks good here for ALZN here. We'll look to see what happens on this one right at the bell. Holds at 680s. Now back to the upside. Let's go, guys. The market's open. It's time to get after it. You know what time it is, guys? It's time. Let's go, guys. Let's have a good one. All right, team, let's get after it. Let's see what we can come up with today. A lot of trading action. And if you guys got a name that is moving, let me know. We'll call out. We'll talk about it. Let's go. Let's go. VRAX cuts that 5 right out the gates there. So, hey, maybe could have held on to the short. Need to start thinking about those types of shorts, right? Look at that, 460s. I was shorting this thing up there towards 560s, 580s. So, hey, not a bad move there. Now cutting down towards the 480s. Could look for the VWAP fade, which is a cut back above $5 right now, and then fading this right back down. But just be careful that it pops right back above that 530. 560 recovery is the danger zone. There you get the opportunity. It already hit 5. So if you want to short off of it, you have that opportunity here. We'll see if it's a fade, a VWAP fade right back down, or is it more of a pop back through the 560s? Two ways to playing it, just like there is a lot of times in trading where there's 2 trades to be made. Well, there's 2 trades right there. Now the only question is what happens? Govx, of course, showing up there, got up there to the 1070s. This actually looks like it's failing there, but I talked about how the 1180s is the spot to look for. I'm not messing with this one early. I'll be watching this one a little bit later, but you guys out there, let me know if it starts to get the move. I can change over to the 6 charts. Let me know. What do you guys like seeing more? Do you guys like seeing the sectors and the industries, the positions, the entries, or are you guys more about the multi-chart look where you guys get to see the 6 charts and different stocks that are moving at the same time? Zim showing up there in Govx, really hard rejection there. Tells me that maybe I could go after the VWAP short. We'll see what happens on that one if it starts to cut down back through the 440s. Opportunities out there, guys. Now the question is, do you want to come after it? IVP taking off there. I think that one's halted. up towards 428. So if you're looking for one that's on the halt, IVP, big move, quick there. Zimming up there towards 2320s. Can take a look at the other shippers to see if there's anything else that's making a nice move here. There's a couple of them here. Icon is another one that I'll give that's making a move there. Pan L. So I'm looking through these to see if any of them really stand out. If there's any of them that have some kind of volume also is what I would be looking for. So let me take a look at the volume leaders in this space. You got Nat, another one to maybe take a look at, NAT. So a lot of these shipping and port names are kind of low volume. So I'm looking to see if any of them start to show me a move. Starbuck is another one, SBLK. So we'll see what happens on this one. Can it get a little bit of a push? Daily chart, it's pretty weak there. So it needs to start working its way back if it's going to have a good day. We'll see what happens on this one. Starbuck. Clove showing up there. Clove, CLOV, of course. Clover Health. This is healthcare plan. And boy, oh boy, is it ripping and squeezing right now through that $3. Has been slowly climbing back here on the healthcare plans. And it's been doing well. Clover Health, nice push there through the threes, up there towards the 340s now. Not a bad little rip. We'll look to see if it pulls back to 320s and $3 on the pullback. AISP, another one showing up there. That's an AI holding name. Just popped through 4, trying to catch the pullback now on software. This is 390s. AISP. Will this AI name start to get a lift there? It doesn't look bad at all. Just needs to start making that move back through 4. Let's see what the wall's looking like. Wall on this is not too bad. I mean, there's some spread out orders for sure. 407, 410s, 413s. They're looking for it to get back through the high and sell some into that 420 rip. Let's see what happens on this one. Spread is about 10 cents though. That's one thing that I would want to see a little bit tighter on AISP. VRAX showing up there. So there's some volume coming in there. This one was pulling back, of course, just popped back above 5. Now could take the 560s. Looked like the fade, it would have got tested there. I don't know if you're out off the 530s just yet, but let's see if it takes 560s. 560s on the upside where it could really start to push. It could still reject here off this 530s and come right back down. So I'm keeping a close eye on it. It doesn't look too bad there. It's trying to get back through the 530s. I'll keep it on watch, guys. Saunders giving a little bit of a move here. This is the lodging, guys. This is a SPAC name that's getting a little bit of a push there. And it just goes to show us that if lodging names are moving, that means that, yeah, you're getting a better recession outlook. So Expedia on the watch. Names like that. Look at Expedia pushing higher. Leisure names pushing higher. I was looking at a short at Royal Caribbean just a little while ago, and it looks more like a long now. And a lot of this is based on the outlook getting better. So Carnival Cruise on the watch today. That just got a little bit of a boost there. Got to the 1560s. Could just keep going. NCLH is another one that I'd watch. It's at the 1609. Could start climbing back here with a nice little better outlook, right? So that moves a move towards like 650s today, breaking the 636. I kind of really like this. It just made a move down to 602. Now starting to recover. So it looks pretty decent here on Norwegian Cruise Line to make that move to like 620s, 640s, 650s. Not a bad one to watch here. I'll keep it on the radar. Would love to see a little bit of a pullback back towards like 1608, but I don't think I'm going to get it. I need to step up here if I want Norwegian Cruise Lines. All right, and we were taking a look to see if retail names would move. How'd Lulu do there? Big rip on Lulu. Already up there towards a 263. I'm looking for pullback to 261. So no pullback, just more of a rip. And not a bad name, though, that I was looking at, but pretty nice move there. TGTX Therapeutics name just ripping here, guys. 2370s. Big move up there in TGTX. All right, going back to that VRAX, how'd that do there? Rejection of the 540s or 530s. So definitely chomping around, just chopping up some traders right now. Govx holding off that 10, but could just keep fading on the day. It is a fade right now. We'll see if it just keeps fading. What was that other one? VLD. All right, guys, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Old Dominion. Let's go. StockS moving fast. Solar energy. There's so much out there, guys. Come on, Tesla up $2. All right, Tesla. Ooh, Tesla, though, up $2. Rejection, hard rejection there on Tesla. Hard rejection there, guys, at the 219. What a move there. Big resistance around the 220s. There it goes. Right back down. Felt like we could get that downside action day. Are we getting it? Success? Woo-hoo-hoo. Success just ripping here, guys. Are we getting that downside action day? There's the leak out there? Right now, I'm not really seeing too much energy ripping, though. XLE doing well right now. That's looking good here. Man, we'll see what happens. Nvidia on the downside there. Procter & Gamble going up. VRAX showing up again. A lot of volume in that VRAX. They're trying to get it going through that 560s. I don't know if he'll make it. Clover Health. How's that AST? ASTS. Space Mobile. Just made another pop there. Man, this is holding on here at the top. There's a lot of resistance, though, here. It needs to get back through 33.49s. It could start coming back towards $26 here. ASTS. We'll see it, man. And it's pulling back now after a quick little rip. We'll look to see if it gets back to that 33.50. AISP just holding off now. It's starting to tighten up on the spread. So this one not looking too bad here for a little bit of an attempt here. I don't mind it here. So I'm going to take a shot here on this AISP. Let's see if I can get 85s here. All right. So I just went after 85s. I should have got a fill there. Let's see if I can get the fill. Risk is like towards the 370s here. So just trying to get the starter there. And then I can add to it. See if I can get this here. Putting it back towards the 81s here on the bid. So just want it to come down some and give me an opportunity to get in. There's 390s. I could just step up there. It's already going away from me, guys. I tried to get in there. Just the spread never filled me. Didn't want to jump up to the 388s. So looking for pullbacks here to maybe get a nice little fill on a pullback. But other than that, we'll see what happens on this AISP Airship Holdings. Got up there towards the 395s. Definitely a little bit of a wall towards the 4, but looking good here as it pulls back. 390s by 382s. I'm looking for 385s to maybe get an entry here. But if it doesn't hit the 85s, I'm not getting in. GNLN definitely down hit. Nvidia coming back, trying to make the up move. So if you're looking for stocks out there that are bouncing, that's one that has an opportunity. AISP, there's not much volume in this one too. So you know what? I'm kind of watching it pull back here. I'm going to give it the chance to pull back, maybe make another bottoming attempt. Starts to make another high here and then goes sideways is what I'm seeing. So there's the pullback opportunity. Let's see if it just comes back to 375 and then works back to 390s. I'll go bigger back when it goes to that 390s, but not a bad one to watch. Govx starting to make that move, trying to make that move back towards what? The 1180s. It just popped to 11, now just pulled back towards around the 1050s, 1025s. Seems to make sense for me on this one. You got to be careful, though, with this bad boy. This bad boy is going to move fast. I think it could get to the 1180s, and then it actually might look like a turnaround. So just be careful out there, guys. This one's going to be one definitely to watch. VRAX trying to get back through that 560. It did get back through that 560s. Now could look to see if it really wants to make a move. 618 is that step up where it really wants to make a breakout move. We'll find out on VRAX. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. Like always, I've been trying to take it a little bit easy out the gates here and then focus in on different action. Markets red. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Mickey D's ripping. Mickey D's, baby. What about wing? Wing stop. Where's the wing? Did the wing move? Not too much of a move there. I'm looking around to see what else. Reborn is making a nice little move there. REBN. The cheesecake, man. It's all about the cheesecake. Get your cake before it's gone, guys. We'll find out. Cheesecake can get the move today. Daily chart doesn't look bad for an approach back there towards the 40 and 39 spot. So Cheesecake getting a little love this morning, trying to push back towards the 39. Doesn't look bad there. You know, you look at the 1 minute, kind of pretty tight, and look for a little pullback here. See if I get an opportunity. Yin staying strong, now making the move towards the 24s. PDD pulling back there to the 149.50s. We'll see what happens on that. BABA right back towards the high 84.20s. And look how it went from the top end of the range to the bottom end of the range. BABA loves to do this, guys. I talk about it all the time with BABA on how it loves to do that move. JD on the pullback, setting up for the break back towards 29.35s. We'll look to see if it makes another up move. Govx now back towards the 1088s, held that 1050 pullback, didn't go back to the 1025, so I haven't gotten an opportunity here, but it still looks like it wants to get through the 11s and go towards the 1180s. Still on the radar. I'm sure traders are looking at this all around. We'll see what happens in Govx. VRAX back down to the 530s, so definitely chomping around out there. AMD up towards 151, so getting a little bit of an up move there. SPY recovering, and so is the Qs. We'll look to see if they come right back up. 945, big important spot here to keep an eye open for. PayPal moving a little bit, taking a look at the Qs to see what's moving there on the upside. So watching that out the open. AMD is the actual leader in the Qs right now on the upside. Netflix with a nice little move, but definitely AMD with the big push there. Interesting. TNXP showing up there. It's a 72-cent stock, guys. We'll look to see what happens on this one. It is trying to start to climb back there. The dollar is still a little bit of ways, but it looks like it wants to get 90 cents. 74 cents right now. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, there's still scalpability here, 75 to maybe 85 and 90s. I don't mind it, but penny name, right? We'll see what happens on it. BRAX, 542s, still trying to get through that 561 and can't do it. Govx at the 1070s still hasn't pulled back either. So this one's still looking like it's just not being able to get back towards that 1180s. Could start just crashing here, but 1025 was an opportunity here. So let's see if it holds 10 and recovers here. Doesn't look too bad there. If it holds that 10, I might take like 100 share trade position here, which is a little bit smaller for me, but gives me the ability to maybe take a shot here off the $10. So let's see if it starts to recover here. I'm going to give it a chance to catch the bottom there. So you can see how it hit 10 already. So come back to 10 right now and then start to come back through the 1020s. That's when I'm going to hit it here. We'll see what happens. If it cuts through 10 here and it just drops like a tank, well, I'll leave it alone. We'll see what happens. All right, Baba. Baba, baby. I Baba. You Baba. We all Baba, baby. Let's go. Par, Fubu, heading for the next leg up. Oh, man. Fubu's actually moving on that. I don't think it should move on that. But, hey, to each his own, right? We heard it. We talked about it this morning. The streaming services getting that lift. How's Fox moving on this? And Disney's actually moving up, so it still looks good there. But Fubo is getting the lift off of that. Can it get through the $2? It definitely could today. Pullbacks to 185. We'll see what happens. Fubo. I remember when I called Fubo like on the big rip, man. Still remember it. That was this rip, guys. Boy, Money Mitch. We'll see what happens on Fubo if it can get moving again. I got nothing against them, but at the same time, I know it's good in the space. And I think what they want to do in that spot will be actually good in the space. We'll see what happens. All right, VRAX just chomping around now, guys, back towards the VWAP. We'll look to see if it holds VWAP and then makes a move to 6. But definitely chomping all around is that one. All right, let me go to another one here. VKTX, that's one that I want to keep a watch on. This is a fast mover, has been kind of hanging out here. I'm wondering if it gets another buy opportunity through the 5780s, 5790s. So looking at that one right now, and actually looking pretty decent there on the recent move. Just came back from the bottom. I'd look for a little bit of a pullback on this below 57 to make the next move. But Vikings Therapeutics, not a bad one. Govx now back, just hit the $10, tried to go breaking through the 10, now working its way back through the 10. So this is where I'm going to take the shot here, guys, in just a second. I'm giving it a chance to break the 10 here. As it starts to come back towards 1025s, I'm going to take the risk off that 1020s. Looking for a move back towards the 1180s. I'll sell it through the 11 and 1150s. We'll see what happens here, guys. Holding in, trying to break that 10. So I'm not I'm not getting in until it starts to come back and gives me a bottom to go off of. Kind of the 980s would really be that undercut that could really kind of get me. But looking at it right now, it's holding off. Let's see if the volume comes in here and we get the next up move. Hims getting a engulfing line. We'll see what happens on that one. What's up out there, guys? ALZN, how's that one doing? Man, you see, I'm glad I didn't go and short in this bad boy. And I talked about how the 682s right out the gates was looking good. Boy, oh boy, was that 682 looking good for the 7 push. It did go up there to $8, then pulled back towards the same spot area, found more buyers now through 9. What a move there, ALZN. Man, I hope no one shorted this bad boy, because boy, oh boy, was that a turnaround. Govx now starting to come back through that 1020s. Now I'm taking the shot there. Just took some there, 100 shares there. Let's see what happens if it can now hold the 980 pullback. Now watching it to see if it can make that move back above the 1020s to the 1050s, then 11s really quickly here. Could add on this, but don't want to open up too big of a risk there until it starts to get back above the VWAP. There's a nice little push there. Kind of exactly what we wanted to see there. So it's holding now the 10 pullback. Now I can look for 1020 pullback to add. So right around my entry, I can go ahead and add. So that's what I'll look for. 1023s. I'll put 1025s out to see if I can get another add here. Let's see if I can get 50 shares there. And then maybe 50 shares at like 1015. So, oh, I sold that on that. Come on, Mitch. You're better than that. I made a mistake there, guys. So going to look to try to get a little bit more here. Probably 150 at the 1015. Just put it out there. Let me try to pull this up to the 20s. Trying to get some more here, guys. I'm going to get some more entry. No fill just yet. Made a slight mistake there. Had it on the sell. Don't know why. Probably because of the prior. Normally, I keep mine on the offer there. All right, guys. There's that pullback there. So now I got 200, 1018. So now I'm just looking for the $10 to hold. Maybe 995 is the risk. Really, that 980s is that real cut down where it starts to wash out. So that's where I got to be careful. But let's go. Let's go. Let's see what we can do now. Another one on the swing trade account that I do want to go after is PL. So PL is one that I want to go ahead and go on the swing trade side of things and look at that cat trade working well, guys. So that's actually making me feel real good and confident about taking a little bit bigger swing here in PL. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, just took that, guys, about 500 shares there for the swing trade. Let's go back. Let's start taking a look around. Govx. Now starting to pull back there at the $10 on me. So just got to really kind of keep a really close eye on this, see what happens here. 200 shares, not too much, but definitely got to keep an eye on it to see if I got to get out here. All right, 1020 starts to hold on the move back here. Now it's spreading out. Now I want to just see it take off that 1050s towards the 11s, right? Then I can go ahead and sell some out at 11. Take that nice $100. Look to see if it really wants to break out towards the 1180s, right? So the first resistance is going to be this move back towards like 1095. That's where I want to sell some of it. And then look to see if it gets to that 1180s. We'll see what happens here. Back down through that 1080s. And this just starts to be a let go and starts to be a fade. So you got to be careful with that move because it'd be a quick move back to that 980s. All right, looking around, SPY holding in right now. Look at some other names, but China names really holding in. That's actually doing really well. Yin still strong. Strong is yin. BRAX back towards $5 here. So actually looks interesting for maybe potentially a short now as it starts to fade off that $5. Could just cut down. Rejected that 560 again, and now could really start to break down is VRAX. All right, looking good here. Just want to see that push now, $10 cut down, and I'll just probably get out at the $10 spot now as it recovered that 10 and tested it again there. So now I need to start seeing that upside. Could jump up and add here or add at like the 1050s to see a real break. Let's see what happens there. ALZN on the opening range momentum scanners. Of course, that's probably reopened, so be careful out there. Back into the 994s, so could cut down through that 980s. I'm ready to get out if I need to here. Hands, triggers ready to get out if I need to here. 991 showing up there. Let's see if it recovers the 10 and just does a wick here. But through that 980s, I don't care if it's a wick or not, I'll get out. Right now I had the trigger at the 976. 976 trigger. BRAX cut that 5 there. Now it starts to cut down towards the 470s. Now it looks good there for above 5 rejection. So I'll be watching that to see if it can go back, let's say 510s, 515s. Maybe I can get short on BRAX here. But looking at the Govx still here, there's a 1030 spike there. So that makes me feel a lot better now, right? Now I can actually tighten down here and move it a little bit closer, only risking about $50 as it starts to move back. 1040s, I'm going to drop it and start to look to see this even a tighter risk to reward. There's 1030s, looking for the 1040s to show up there. Still hasn't made that move to the 1040s. And once it starts to do that 1040 move, it starts to look a lot better on the buys. And then you start to see, I'll look to see if the offers show up on the time and sales. So that's one thing that we want to be taking a look at, right? And today I want to be showing you guys a little bit more about how you can execute on the chart, right? So right on the chart, guys, you guys see me set the stop right now. And you guys see me taking the trade both ways, right? So we'll see what happens here. One way is I can hold this off, right? You guys see the chart pattern right there. There's the X on the close too. So we'll see what happens. There's $10 shows up there. Back into the 996. So we could cut through that 980s. Still keeping that in mind, right? So there's the cut down towards the 996. I still don't have to stop out there. I'm holding it. And when I'm holding it, it's not active until I let it go here. So that's one way to kind of trade, guys. And you can do this right on the chart on Trade the Pool. That's what I really like to do. So if you guys haven't used the chart trading, I'll definitely take a look at it. And there's BRAX back through 510s. I'm looking for a little push to 520s. I'd get short on that at near the 520s. The Qs are heading down there. So that actually looks good there for shorts to start working. So NVIDIA rejection there. And starting to see some weakness in the market. We'll see what happens. Now back through that 1030s. Should get through that 1040s now. Let's see if we can break through there and I can finally let go of this stop. Move it up to 10 and only risk about $30 moving forward. It's trying to make the move, but just can't do it here, guys. So we've hit this now, what? We've gone up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3. Shouldn't break this last low here around the 989s. So I'm going to set it right now at the 978s. Just looking to see what happens. If I can get through that 1040s, we're looking good. But if I can't get through that 1040s, it probably hits back down towards this line, breaks it, and I'm out. Nice rejection there. VRAX around the 510 spot. So that's kind of the spot there for the rejection on VRAX. I don't mind it for the short, but still on this Govx and don't want to go too much into 3 different positions at once, things like that. They're just focusing on this one. All right, we'll see what happens. The Q's still chomping around there. 475s is going to be an important spot to see if you undercut. If you go back through 475.80s on the up end, well, you're right back up through. You shook the bears and you're pushing. This one should already have gone, man. It's a little bit slower than I expected here. So little part of me is feeling like, yeah, man, this should have already rocked and rolled. So we'll see right here. Fubo showing up on the scanners, the volume thrust. Fubo. Want to let go of this stop here, but don't want to show my hand too quickly here. So a lot of the times I talk about showing your hand, right? And how a trader can show his hand. A lot of times this is showing your hand, right? And so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to click off, right? So there's no stop right now placed. Target profit could be up towards the top, right? I'm looking for this to break through the 11s, going back up there. That's more than a $200 outlook on the upside, right? But I don't like to show my hand. I don't want to tell it where I want to take profits. I want to be holding the stop and telling it when I want to let it go, right? Where do I want to get stopped out at? Pretty much 980s right now, but looking for the see the 10 hold. And it's important to use these features that you can use right on the chart, right? You can also use the feature that's right here on the top right, which is the click on the chart feature. So if you guys like to click on the chart there's nothing wrong with that. You could definitely use it, right? There's nothing wrong with using that. Now the bid going to 1021s by 1027 looks good here. Looks primed to make the push towards the 1040s and 11. Now the question is, will it do it, right? I'm at this point where I'm feeling like, yeah, let's tighten down. Let's see if this really wants to go or not go here. Because if not, it's going to be a cut down. $55 is pretty much what I'm willing to risk on this trade. Let's see if it starts to push through the 1025s and the 1040s. And I'm on the 5 minute. I could be on the 15 minute to try to help me in between this to like get out of the kind of the control in my mind, right? So let's go to the 15 minutes and you can see here how this is kind of like a red candle right now. Wouldn't really even want it to break the 1011s and $10. On the 15-minute chart, it still looks good to just hold this support of 1011, come back up there. But if it starts to break 10, that's when you really got to go here. So be careful there. There's the cut down back towards 10. Now I got to get ready to get out if I need to. As it starts to cut 990s, it can easily break the higher low trend. Remember, the higher low trend is really what I'm looking at. Hold now, this 983 low. Shouldn't break here, this 990. So you could get a reach here. There's the reach, guys. There's the cut down. Now I'm trying to get out here in between the spread and not take a bigger hit, right? So I got to be careful with that 961 cut down here. So I'm trying to put the stop right below where we're at. See if we get this cut down. The spread just widened out on me towards the 950s. So you could have got hit on that 950 spread out. There's the recovery of that 960 there. Now I'm going to put up here 960. Boom. So I just put out the 960s. I could get hit on this. 100% could get hit on it, guys. Really tried to risk there towards $50. Now I'm holding off on this and just giving it a chance here. There's the trigger. It's out. It could recover. I'm out. Lost that 100. Still up $31. Let's go looking at VRAX. Really wanted to take a shot on VRAX on the short side of things, but never got it because it was at the 510s, 520s. That's kind of the area where I really wanted to get short there. But we'll see what happens there. Taking a little hit on Govx. I tried it, man. It was a good shot there. Should have cut it there at the $10 and just held it at the 10. But hey, to each his own. Was showing off a little bit more of that trading feature. But mouse trading, you can definitely do it. You buy stops, sell limits. Take a look into it, guys. There's so much features that Trade the Pool has for you. And there goes the VRAX. Ah, man, should have gone after that one. Looked like a nice short, man. Looked like a nice short. There goes the VRAX. 510s, back down to the 450s. Good looking trade there. Starts to break down now. Govx also breaking down. Alts. Look to see what happens on that. 289. Let's go to the SPY overall. SPY is trying to slow down there. The Qs trying to recover today. We'll see what happens there. AMD now rejecting and going underneath the VWAP. So that could actually turn into a kind of fade after this. We'll see what happens. Zim trying to hold the $22 spot, 2260s, make a move back towards 23. We'll see how that kind of moves on the day. Doesn't look too bad there. ECs is another one kind of that's squeezing off of this, right? So it's just squeezing off the momentum. We'll see what happens there. TGTX. Ooh, therapeutic stock doing really well. That tells me that maybe Viking, VKTX. Yeah, VKTX looking good there. Just bounced off the VWAP, the 57.40 by 57.11. But I've seen this stock run before. So doesn't look too bad for it to take 58 and start to move back towards 60. Therapeutic stock. Of course, I saw another therapeutic stock doing well. So that's what gives me the excitement to maybe get after this one. It really doesn't look bad. The only thing with this one is you got to be careful with the spread. So the spread, you need to wait to try to get a better spread entry. So 57.10s, 57.11s is what makes sense for me there. BKTX, let's go for it. Let's see if I can get it. Boom, just grabbed a little bit there at 57.10s. And try to get some at 57 and 56.80s or 56.70s. Let's do 56.75. Remember, slower than faster, right? I've been trying to get in things a little bit slower than just racing to it. So I just grabbed the starter there at 50 shares. I want to add some at 57. Look for the undercut where it just starts to pull back and then gives me a fill on the pullback. And then look to see if I could get this. I put it to 79, the 80 spot. So like trying to get this to come back down a little bit there, and then looking for a little bit better entry. We'll see if we able to get some pullback fill here on VKTX. That VRAX just fell off like a tank there. Now 430s. So Govx volume dropping. Okay, I'm done. One trade, really slow mover, AAL from 1020s, moving stop, break even, and letting this go. Hey, that's okay. That's okay. Looking at shorting Alberme, there are right under 200 MMA resistance. Just got downgraded by JP Morgan. Did horrible on earnings. Bearish. I mean, it's not a hot area either, lithium. But hey, I can't blame you for looking at it, man. Really can't. VRAX was a nice short opportunity. Should have been taking a look at that one. Govx now starts to be a breakdown. We'll see what happens if that does recover. ALZN up there towards $13, guys. 13. In the pre-market, I gave an outlook that I felt was a little bit rosy. 375 from the break. 375 from the break. That was around what, the $7 spot? So not a bad break there. I mean, if I talk about $3, we're past that now. 14.56 there for ALZN now. What an insane move this thing is making, guys. It's halted what? Once, twice. Will we go for the third halt here? Let's see it, guys. Third halt. After the third halt, I might take a short on this, guys. Might take a shot here. We'll see what happens out there, guys. Have a nice cushion on the day. Gave up most of it on that Govx trade, but doesn't mean that I can't keep trading here, guys. I still got a lot more to get after today. We'll see what happens. Looking for a little bit more pullback fill here in VKTX. SPY looking weak. So is the Qs. We'll see if this starts to actually break down or not here. StockSat still just driving. So that actually looks strong. AMD starting to look a little weak here. I know there's probably some VWAP buyers off the 150 that it just rejected off of. So that 150, hard rejection on that. Clover Health, 320s holding well, but man, that broke down fast back to 280s. Got to be careful on a name like that. ASTS still continuing going there. Fubo showing up there, guys. 202. Fubo, baby. All right, VKTX back up towards 57.15s. Taking a look at that to see if maybe I take the shot here and just start to size up. MOS with a nice move today. Definitely. MOS. So this would mean agricultural inputs are doing well. And so I take a look at that area. That's an industry that is doing well today. NTR is another name that you can trade there. CF is one that I've traded before. IPI. So those names actually doing pretty good on the day. Agricultural inputs. Gold is having a good day. Silver is having a good day. GLD, man, back to 20s. Guys, I should have swung trade this at 17. Was talking about it here. Just didn't take the trade. Looking at gold since the 12th there. as we updated this, this is actually looking really good here. It started to break back through the 18, now towards the 20, and continuing strong. Gold, baby. I love gold, I tell you, gold. ALTS, Waste Management Company, getting a little bit of a push here today. We'll see if it goes back through the $3 spot. It doesn't look too bad. It was there in the pre-market towards 340s. So I don't think like a big upside outlook, but is there potential for this to get back there towards 320s? Yeah, there's potential there. Looking at this VKTX to see if it starts to make the move here. Now it's starting to bid up there towards the 57.19s. A little part of me is like, all right, well, if you're going to take your shot, here it is. We'll see what happens here on VKTX if it's just going to take 58. All right, guys, trying to step up to the plate. Now it goes to 57.38s. Now I'm just putting out orders at 57.10 and 57.20s. Any pullback there, looking to get the fill and looking for VKTX to go higher. We'll see what happens if this really starts to push. I only got 50 shares right now. I definitely want to add to this, but taking it easy with the share size because it's just a wide spread. Very, very therapeutics. Another therapeutic stock pulling back there towards the VWAP, 475 VERV. There it goes back towards 57.49. So actually not looking too bad in that VKTX. Just needed to pull back now. Give me the opportunities towards 57, 57.10s. Pull back fills there. I'll be feeling a little bit more confident now. Still got the orders out there. Just the question is, will they pull back? PL making a nice move to the upside there. Of course, you guys know I got the swing trade on this Planet Labs. Looking for this to really push and continue pushing on the day. That doesn't look too bad there. All right, looking around, guys, trying to make some more trades out there. Zim, trying to zimming through the 23 spot. That could keep going with some other names. We'll see what happens in the shipping spot there, but doesn't look bad at all. Icon, EC was one that just keeps ripping to the upside. And you can start taking a look at a bunch of these shippers as they start to get stronger. DSX, another cheap name that could get a little bit of a push back towards the upside as these shippers start to get a little bit hot as investors are taking a look at them. Q's just chomping around, guys. Now trying to get back up there towards the 475.28. So it did do a little bit of a spike. We'll see what happens here. Now it's moving all over the place. Let's take a look at the sectors. Sectors leading today: communication services, real estate, basic materials. We've talked about gold and how that's done well. Healthcare names definitely showing up today. ALZN. Did we get to the third halt? No, we didn't. I don't think we did. We got 1, 2, 3. Now starting to slow down around the 15. Let's see if it takes one more boost up and then goes to our third halt. That's what I want to see. I don't want to short this bad boy until I get to the third halt. But boy, oh boy, is this a big rip. And this stock never holds its rips, man. So in my eyes, this is a great opportunity. The only question is where, right? And so you got to take a look at it. When does it start to slow down? This $13 stands out to me. Next layer from there could be a move. It could be up there towards 1920s. So I got to keep that in mind. Always understand risk and return. Right now, that $13 stands out to me. But I think we can get one more boost that goes into another halt, which is the third halt. And then I'll be looking for this to come back down. We'll see what happens. Fubo now 212, so not a bad one to scalp and just riding that one up. You can't be mad about it. GOLD swing of 6%. You gotta love gold, baby. Pinkies up. Let's go. Get it, wisdom. All right, guys, 10-11, not bad. Clorox moving higher. Kramer, why'd you steal my pick, man? Why'd you steal my pick? I'd actually talk about Clorox more if Kramer didn't steal it, but you know how it goes. Clorox starting to push back through that resistance. Doesn't look bad to maybe take a look into the defensive area. Procter & Gamble was one that I talked about. Could have a nice day today. It is having a nice day. Nice little 68 to 169 run. Looking for a pullback on this, but it's looking pretty good. It's just climbing, guys. Nice little VWAP opportunity off this 168 50 back up to 169. You can take a look at different spaces, different stocks in this space. Colgate-Palmolive, KVU was one that I had called out a little while back. Taking a look at all that, Estee Lauder worked its way all the way back, and now it's kind of fading a little bit. So I don't know. We'll see what happens on Estee Lauder. Right towards the open, it was up there towards 100, came back all the way to 93. Is it going to make its way back all the way to 100? Something definitely to watch there. Elf Beauty, another one to keep an eye out. Of course, Ulta making the big move, but this one not working too bad there. Lululemon pulled back here, back below the VWAP, so I have an opportunity here for Lulu. I actually like this, guys. I actually really like this, so I'm going to try to get a shot here on Lulu. It was on the playbook. Doesn't look too bad here on this pullback. Hourly pullback, of course, could come back towards a level of like 259, so you got to keep that in mind. I'm going off more of the resistance, which is 259.60s. Let's take a look at the action here. We're at 260.32, so I need to see a little bit more drop and then try to catch that dip through the 59.60s here. We'll see if I can get a dip there, and then it starts to recover. Not a bad one to watch here. Lulu. There's 259 now starting to come back there, and the high there was 263. So $3 on the upside tells me that I don't need that much of share size, right, to get after this. I did get some more of VKTX there. So now I have 100 shares of VKTX. We'll see what happens on that one. Taking a shot there. Let's go to Lulu and try to get after this one. All right, so with Lulu, of course, I don't need the biggest share size, so I'm going to try to come in there with like 25 shares each and just do a little bit of a ladder approach. 259.60s is the first approach there, and then for 259, and then looking for this to come back to that level, right? If it starts to cut down through the 258, well, I want to get out anyways. That's the support. So I'm going to start putting one 259.60s, 259.30, and then 259. So ladder is out there, guys. You guys can do this also. So look how you guys do this on the chart. I've been trying to show some different chart features today. Look at this, guys. You can do this right there. And the fun part is, let's say I put out those limits, right? You guys saw me put out those limits. I can move them. If I start to see this move down, I can move it down. I can move them all around and keep kind of playing with them versus trying to enter in orders. If I want to change the size, I click on it. I can click the quantity amount and say, no, I want 10 at that size now. Oh, no, you know what? I want 25. You know what? I want 50. Change the order there. You can go ahead and do that. You can also change it to a market order versus a limit order. So if it cuts through that, fill me at any amount. That could be another way to look at it. But we'll see what happens here in Lulu. Of course, not a bad attempt. And another thing to think about is, let's say for some reason you're like, you know what? I want in, but I haven't gotten in here and I don't know what can happen. So you know what? I'm going to cancel all this and I don't want any of it. Well, you got the cancel all right here, and you got to trigger those orders. You got to set those hotkeys. The way that you do that, you go to the settings, right? You want to go ahead and get to your chart order entry spot. And there's a couple of hot buttons here that could be helping you guys trade on the platform. Of course, we're talking trade the pool here, but take a look at it, guys. Not a bad way to take a trade. All right, let me go ahead and put, I want to put VKTX here on one of my charts because I just need to keep a watch on it. It's going back towards the 57.25s. I'm going to actually cancel my limit buy at the 57s here. Just kind of holding in right now, starting to see the Qs get weak. So I might come after that trade here. So that's a scalp on the SQQQ. So if I want to try to get that, I can go for the Qs itself for short right off these levels, which isn't too bad either. That's the 475, 75, like as a breakdown through the 474. It doesn't look too bad there. 475s could be the risk there. There's the move already starting to happen. So got to start taking the trade if I want to take the shot there. AMD short doesn't look too bad there for me. It's one of the strongest names, though. That's where I got to be a little bit careful shorting one of the strongest ones today. NVIDIA, of course, you guys know how I love to go after it, but it has a tendency of, really hitting me when I go after it. So just taking a look at it there. ALZN, Did that ever get to the third hole? Just keeping an eye on that one. No, it's just hanging out there. Could go for another move there. We'll find out. SQQQ, taking a look at it here. See if it starts to make the move there. 828 showing up there. Volume right there could really take that 360,000 at 829 and really start to move. There it starts to take some of the sizing there and then comes right back down. We'll look to see what happens here, if it does make an up move or not. SPY, just hard candle to the downside there on the SPY. So that could be the move there. I actually like the short on the TQQQ versus the slow move that you get on the SQQQ. But there you guys see it. Big move down. Now starting to get that cut down. I'm a little late now to the move. And that's where I get a little bit frustrated because I was watching it. I was really close on it. Just didn't take it as it started to break down. Now you're getting that real cut down. Got to be careful here with VKTX also. And there goes SQQQs to the 831s. So I'm missing the move here, but just look around, guys. You might see some more kind of breakdown. We are starting to get a little bit of that cut down, and we got to be a little bit careful with that. All right, setting a risk about $33 on that VKTX trade. I just want to go looking around to see what else is making a move here and what else I can trade. Procter & Gamble on the pullback there. That's an interesting outlook. Of course, we're going to start to see maybe technology just keep red. And you can see it red right now and deep red as it's starting to go. Industrials are red and utilities are just slightly up. Cat. Ooh, Cat was making a nice move to 345. Now pulling back on me. Car also pulling back on me. We'll see what happens on that one. ALZN, will it go for another move? Definitely has the opportunity. Alt back towards $3 there. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. SQQQ. There you go. There's that 830s there on the SQQQ. It's available. Now the question is, will they come after it? Will they hit it? Tesla back up there. Tesla looks like a short to me here. Let's do it. Let me see if I can get it here, guys. All right, I did it. Did I get Lulu? Yeah, I did get Lulu long there, guys. I did get Lulu long there. I got to go focus on that. But hey, I want to take a short on Tesla here. I just took a short on Tesla. Just took a short on it, guys. 30 shares there. Could have gone a little bit bigger, but I know I needed to risk about $1 on it, if not $2. So starter on there on Tesla. We'll look to see if it bounces a little bit. 15-minute chart shows a double topping right here in this spot. I needed to close there. 220.20s is another test that we could get a move back up to, and then to see that reject there. There's the 220.20s where it just rejected there. That's kind of the topping. Wouldn't even want to see it back at 221s. That'd definitely get me out. We'll see what happens here. Lulu took a little bit of a long there, but got to be careful with this one as it pulls back here, especially with the market kind of breaking down, right? So don't mind it. I still got another limit order that I can fill there towards the 259. What I'm going to do here is I'm at 50 shares. I really need to see this start to go back like into the green and really kind of pushing higher. I'm slightly green right now, which I got no problem being in. So I'll look to add to this if it starts to move back through the 260, and then I can just take a bigger shot, right? That's the market coming back and giving me an opportunity. I'm going to set a risk here about $30 here. Got to be careful with the spread, but that's why I'm not going to add here. I'm risking down to the 258.20 spot. So 258.17 spot right now. All right, back to Tesla. Tesla, I got there 220 right on the dot. Let's go to the 1 minute on Tesla. Start taking a look to see if I can tackle this Tesla trade. So the move back towards 220s, 220.50s, or 221s is kind of the move where I can start to add. We'll see what happens here. Taking a shot, guys. Taking a shot. Don't short Tesla. It's going to the moon, says Nando. I don't know, Nando. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe you make money on me. That's all we can do, man. Take trades and find out. Smash the like out there, guys. More than 56 of you guys on Twitter, YouTube. Smash it up out there, guys. Let's get some more traders in here. There's the 220s showing up there. There's 220.30s. In a second here, I don't mind taking another 30 here. 220, 221. I could just go for the 221. Yeah, let's go for the 220. Let's go for the 220. Where's this spot here? 72s. Okay. $220.80. That's what I'm looking at here. Let's do 90 to give it that, like, kind of. It's going to be on the offer. I think 80s is going to be more of the opportunity. There's 75 show up there. Moved it to like 82. So get me into the 80s. Moved it up to the 92s here as it gets to the 74s. Just looking for a little pop fill. Pop fill on the ad, and then I got to just make sure that I hold to the risk. There was 83 there for a second. Now it hit 80s, and I just kind of pulled off of it because it was literally like a cent away from me, and it looked like it was going to pop above it. There's 70s slowing down a little bit. That's actually a good outlook. Now I'm looking for that last little pop and then the drop. I'm actually at the 2096 now. If I came back fast there, guys, that's going to give an opportunity. If you want to go short, you have that opportunity there. Now I'm trying to fill, guys, towards the 80s. There it goes. Just got the fill there. Now I can go ahead and just start setting the risk, right? And understanding the risk is always important. I can actually risk up there now since I added towards above the 222 spot. So I can go ahead and I can risk there like 150 here and risk even further towards like the 222.60 spot. So I can add to this cutting back through 220s. So that's what I'm going to look at. I can add another 30 shares here and try to take down Tesla. I don't want to see it go through the 221.20. So I want it to hold this level and start to reject there. Let's go to the 15-minute. This candle needs to turn red for me to add. If this candle turns red, I can add. We'll see what happens. Lulu is starting to come back there. I kind of like that Lulu. It doesn't look bad at all. The thing with Lulu is the spread, though. That's where you got to be careful. 259.30s by 259.52s. Keep that in mind. We'll see what happens if Lulu starts to really make a move. Even right now, if I get it right back towards, let's say, 261, that's still 150 bucks. So don't need to go over exposing myself to Lulu to try to make a profit. All right, going back to Tesla here. All right, 221.30s. It just hit that little like tweak above that. So now let's go to the 5-minute here. Let's see if this 5-minute high holds the 221.50s and it starts to go back right below this bottom. So this 220 spot on the downside is going to be very important. Let's see if the 15-minute can go red here. 15-minute opened at 220.20s. Looking for that to cut right back down. Back through the 221.50s. I'll just go ahead and I'll get out. Right? So I still got the stop a little bit higher than that, but I'm going to pull it back if it starts to come. Ooh, VKTX, man. VKTX just came and chomped me out. And look at it, guys. Look at it. Right back up to that 57.50s. Looks pretty good there. Now the spread tightening up. It wasn't a bad one to get after. Just got stopped out. Just ticked out on that one, guys. Lost about, what? Let's see here. 33. But had the opportunity for it. It just wasn't making the move. It clicked me out right at the bottom, the 57.60s. There's Tesla pushing strong there, guys. Got to keep an eye on it. Now it's back towards 221.60s here. 221.50s, big spot there to watch now as it starts to try to recover here. Let's look on the 15-minute. I still got a couple of minutes left on this candle, but if it don't pull back to the 220.50s and back down towards the 220s, this could actually be a push above. So got to keep that in mind. We'll see if it goes mooning like the chat was talking about here. Let's find out. Only one way. to find out here, guys. I like at least that I came at it slow, still giving myself the opportunity here, and only down $6. So for the amount that I've been playing, I'm kind of happy to only be down to $6. Fubo, what's up with that one? Still going? I pulled back to the $2 spot. We'll see what happens there. SQQQ back at the VWAP, 836. Opportunity there. Tesla just made a quick move right back down. Let's see what happens here in the 15 minutes. We still got about 3 minutes left here on this candle, about 2 minutes and a half. Looking to see what happens in the next 2 minutes. So let's go to the 1 minute here and just watch what happens in the next 2 minutes, because it's going to be important. It's going to determine a lot if I stay in this or I'm out. It's pushing there. Trying to push at least. Big watch. 2 minutes left on this 15-minute candle. What will these 2-minute candles do here? I don't know, man. Got to be able to hold on right now. APDN starting to show up there. Applied Sciences just went through the $2 spot. Not a bad looking play here. You got to be kind of quick on this, but let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3. Nice little reversal pattern. Really started to get the strength around the 180s. Doesn't look bad on the 15-minute for a pullback here now towards 186, 190s. So that's kind of the level that I'd be looking at. 186, 190s on the pullback back through $2. We'll see what happens here in this APDN. What do you guys think about this one? What's up? What's up? There you go. Don't short Tesla. You have 222.50 calls on Tesla. Hey, we'll get it, Nando. Hopefully you get your calls and I still make money. That'd be the best scenario, but we'll find out here, guys. There it goes back to the 221.50s here. Now the 15-minute candle has about 1 minute left here to see if it goes red. That's what I'm watching. If it's going to be red or green here, let's find out. There's the push. Trying to get back through the 222s, and be careful because it can be a fast push through that 222 spot. And VKTX was a good trade. I just screwed that one up, guys. I was looking at too many trades there and just screwed that one up. Screwed the pooch on this one. 57.70s. Looks good there to take 58 and go higher. SPY back to 55.40s. We'll see if the Qs actually break down today. That's definitely something to watch there. DPZ, how's the pizza? The wings? The Starbucks, they're not looking too good there. We'll see what happens on Lulu. I'm green right now, but I'm not feeling that confident on Lulu as it keeps, I'm seeing other retail names really struggling. Just looking to see if I can get the move because I'm already in the trade there. 259 is my entry, and it's hanging out just slightly above my entry. Tesla finished there. Now put in a hard top there for me. So at this point, I can see a wick through this, but don't want to see it kind of actually close above this 222.80s now. Let's take a look at the 5 minute here. Start to see if we get a downside action towards the 220s. If I don't, I'm getting out of this. So looking for the cut down of the 9 EMA now. 221.36. Back through that 222s. Got to get out. Got to get out. There's 221.40s now. Just need to see it break that 90 EMA. You can see it bounce off of that too for the 1 minute guys, right? The 1 minute guys like to buy that a lot of the times. So now it just cuts down and it hits it right on the dot. 221.34s. We're at 221.36. So looking to see if I can get that cut down right back down here. Lulu catches a little bit of a bounce there. Doesn't look too bad at all. Give it the chance to start coming back up. Lulu. Doesn't look too bad at all. Tesla. Trying to get me out. It's definitely slowed up. And a lot of that was the Qs coming back, right? I mean, the Qs came back. Now it's above VWAP. Need to see this take a hit back down. If not, Tesla isn't going to take a hit either. Q's looking strong on this recovery, about to get me out. $10.32, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see what we can come up with. That's a rejection of the 222 spot there, but Tesla still remaining strong there. Looking at a 126 stop out right now, looking like it's coming right to me. So does feel like I'm going to get this stop out here in Tesla. That's going to be about 134 now. See what happens there. If the Qs can actually make a down move, it could maybe hang on there, but it ain't going to be easy. $222 is a big spot here. There's the Q starting to look a little weak there. So there's two ways of playing this right now. What I can do is I could go for like a kind of a hedge, AMD long or something like that I feel it can really take off, right? That could be one way to play it. Saidu giving me an alert there. Aerospace stock. I have no idea about this one. What happened to that other one, that AL? What was it? AL. I don't know why I keep forgetting that one today. I forget that one like 50 times. ALZN. There you go. ALZN back down towards the 1090s. That thing just started to leak back down to the VWAP. VRAX. Oh, VRAX woke up. And boy, oh boy, did it wake up. It woke up into halts. Be careful out there. Those biotechs, guys. They are pushing. Those biotechs right now. That's why Govx is coming back. Looks interesting, actually, for the 1020 recovery now. With all these stocks kind of going into halts, I could see Govx maybe getting a little bit of a push. So it's one to watch as it starts to come back through that 1020. We'll see what happens there. Tesla now starting to fade off there. The Q's starting to fade off a little bit. Could go after the Q's also. That's another way to take a look at this. I actually don't mind that trade. You can see how the Q's have rejected this area now 1, 2, 3 times. 4 times if you count this first one. 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth is a rejection there off the 475.85 spot. So maybe one more up move and then the downside comes in. That's the way I'm seeing it right now. We'll see what happens. Look at Tesla come back right back to my entry here. So Tesla's looking interesting there. We'll look to see if this really starts to break down. Back through the low would be a nice trade today. So I'm going to set up for that trade here. I'm ways away looking for a bigger gain there, but I have about 138 of risk for about 300 on the profit side. Lulu, I don't feel like this is going to hold on, guys. So Lulu is one that I'm going to tighten up here. Only going to risk 20 bucks on that Lulu. If it keeps going up, we'll let it go, right? But if it comes down, I'm not going to give it the chance to really kind of hit me hard. I'll do 25.50s, which is down towards 258.50s. So that's the risk there. Tesla, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Q's starting to come down there. Looks like I could play that. That would be the SQQQ or SOXS on the pullback. Up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3. I kind of like this SOXS here. All right, SOXS it is, man. That's where you want to go for it? All right, let's do it. Looking at this one right now, guys. See if I can get some downside action fill here. Okay, so down 1, up 1, down 2, up 2, down 3, up 3. Gonna need to get this attempt towards the low of the 76 and then a reversal back. So that's the way I look at it right now. 2278 would be that kind of first entrance for me. Let's see if I can get it there. Just want to dip down and then it starts to come back up. So come to this like 200 moving average, 2277s, and then break right back through towards 23. All right, we'll see what happens on that one. You guys see it mixing all around today, guys. It's about 10:37, guys. I will be wrapping up a little tiny bit early today, maybe towards like 10:55. I got some family I need to go bring back to the airport. So, but let's keep it going. Let's have a great one today. You guys have been seeing me take some chart trading, doing some different action there. Swing on AEO. AEO retail sales are up approximately, turn in the right direction. Yeah, I thought the same way this morning. That's not nice, Mitch. What the pooch do to you? I'll tell you one thing. I didn't treat the pooch well this morning. Let's keep going, guys. We'll see what happens out there. Smash the like. In deep, TSLL got me some SOXL or some SOXS earlier. All right, not a bad one outlook. Not a bad outlook. It's holding in there. Still hasn't done that 2270 spot there. So I'm not getting into SOXS just yet. I want it to be a kind of a way better entry here. If Tesla just goes deep into the green, well then, yeah, I can just kind of ride on that, right? I don't need to jump into it. I'm just looking at it right now. And Lulu, I feel like it could keep going, but at the same time, if it lets go and comes back towards my entry, probably can just cut it out there. But up about $35 there, giving myself both sides of the trade right now. So if for some reason they shake this technology downside turn and the market doesn't collapse today, I would see Lulu giving me the green that I'm looking for, right? If I do get that cut down, well, Lulu will cut down, right? And then maybe Tesla can give me the green that I'm looking for today. Like always, trader, it's always about the risk and return and staying within like a swing for your nice profits and then moving forward in the day. We'll see what happens. Like always, guys, check out Trade the Pool. If you guys don't already have it, check it out and check out the swing trade action things out there, guys, because the swings right now looking interesting. Let's take a look at that action here, guys. Look at this, guys. I'm up on Planet Labs, almost $50 already. Cat still up on that. Up 130 on XLU. Looking for about like 200, 300 on that XLU. So I'll keep an eye out to see what happens. XLU is pulling back today. It isn't making the kind of a big push, but keeping an eye on it to see if it makes that next push up towards 76. That's going to be about the area that I'll sell this. If it starts pushing to 76 and 77, I don't mind selling out of this one. Cat, I'll look for that to recover back to 350. And of course, Planet Labs continuing here, looking really well, guys. So as this gets to $3, that's when I want to sell Planet Labs. We'll see what happens if that can keep riding higher. BRAX that was halted, now opened up there towards 743s. We'll look to see if this one wants to keep making a move. This one's made me some good money already on the day. It was on the short side of things. Let's see if this one starts to push and keep pushing through 8. I don't know, man. Tesla back towards the 220.57s and the Qs start to head down there. Stocks S looking really juicy for this 23 VWAP. Look for a move back to 23.40s. I don't want to double, triple dip here. So that's the reason why I'm not in it. But does it look good? It does. I mean, I'm just sticking with my Tesla trade now. That's what I'm looking at. 220 cut down and I could start to add on Tesla. Let's see if this really wants to make the move and start to break down here. Another way to play this and to maybe kind of maybe do a hedge, right? Another hedge action could be the SPXL. So the SPY is still at the top end of the range, right? Are we going to get an up move here in the SPY? Well, I don't know, but it could be a down move back to 149.50, right? So it just depends on which way you're looking at it. If you're expecting downside action, yeah, you could play that downside action. But if you just want to kind of cover yourself, you could also take a long here. And if the Qs don't break down and you get some random push right back up, well, that could be the way to maybe play it and get some of that. That's kind of pairs trading and using that as a hedge. But just kind of mentioning it, guys, because there's always ways to trade that you haven't heard of. All right, there's the push, and look at the SPY. trying to make that push up, right? That's going to make the Qs go right back to the upside. So you can see the Qs right back towards the 475.40s, right? This is why I'm still in the Lulu trade, because for some reason, if it doesn't go down here, and I still see it, but if it doesn't go down there, and it just makes this push to 260, well, I'm in it already and can start to look to see if this one gets me the gain. That's all it's all about, man. Risk to return, team. VRAX up there now to 876. That tells me more and more. Maybe take a look to see if Govx really gets going here. $10 still hanging out here. A lot of volume has been in this one. We'll see if it starts to recover the 1020s and makes a move towards the 1180s. And it could go higher. I mean, there's no reason why it can't. This thing was squeezing hard in the pre-market. So let's see what happens here at Govx for that recovery of 1020s. Looks interesting, maybe. A little part of me wants to go after it, but I already got 2 trades out there. And I've had some kind of reds already to start the day. But does this look juicy here at the 1020s? Oh, it does. Look at that now. It was at 1008 just a second ago. 1030s now showing up. 1040s, we struggled here before. Now it could make that move. Let's find out, guys. See if you get a breakout here through this trend line and then starts to really push here. Doesn't look bad on Govx. Tesla back towards my entry, right on that spot now. Let's see what happens here if we start to get the quick dip. All right, team. It hasn't been a bad day at all, guys. I've been battling, guys. I'm only down $6, right? But I had a nice little cushion this morning, up about like 140s. Really trying to make a nice little maybe $2,000 week here, but just trying to battle back there. There's the Govx move there, guys. So, hey, I missed it, guys, but the opportunity was there. And a lot of that was I was already into trades. I didn't want to take 3 trades open at the time, but was the opportunity there at the $10 spot? Yes, it was. There's Govx through the 10, now starting to go higher to the 1075s. So here's the pullback to 1020s. Another opportunity at that 1020. This 1020 stands out like a sore thumb. So let's see what happens here. Does it hold it or does it just cut people out? Look at that cut down back through 10. So definitely it's moving all around and filling some size. Be careful out there with that Govx. I think there was a big shorter. They're probably jumping on that pop of the 1075s. Something to think about. Tesla just chomping all around, and a lot of that is the Qs chomping all around. If it makes the up move towards the 475.50s, you could start taking a look to see if maybe you just reverse on SOXS and you're doing SOXL, right? So, hey, there's two types of ways always to trade, and this is a perfect example of that, where SOXL is presenting a trade, SOXS is presenting a different trade. That's why there's always 2 sides of the coin, guys. That's why I never try to hit anybody in the chat that says something against my trade. Like, let's say you weren't saying anything against it, Nando, but just to bring it up, right? Because the truth is at the end of the day, guys, you guys might see a bearish trade where I see a bullish trade. There's nothing to be mad at each other about it. Yeah, you're trying to make money. I'm trying to make money. That's what I understand, right? So just keeping things objective, focusing on what your skills are. Don't worry about what's going on with everybody else, because if it was about everybody else, well, then you'd have everybody else trade for you, right? The truth is you trade for you. You got to be working on your skills to take it to the next level. All right, guys, 10:45, about 5 minutes left, and then I'm going to get out of here. Just get out of here a tiny bit early. I got some family. I got to get over to the airport. You can know how it's been, guys. And, of course, with the boys, got to go help out a little bit. We'll see if Fubo takes another step up. Of course, mentions today that were interesting, definitely to watch. Zim, another one with earnings that's continued to push higher, guys. So EC has been one that I saw kind of ripping off of this. This has already made about like a $2 move. We'll see what happens on these names. Tesla still just chomping around, guys. I'm in the green, but it's not really breaking down here. And why? It's because the Qs just made an up move here, guys. So just be careful. This could still chomp me out, right? Tesla could still just make a quick little up move here. Look at the Qs trying to make an up move here. If they get through this 475.80s, it'd almost be proponent for me to get out of Tesla here. So at this point, I'm keeping it tight on Tesla. I'm keeping a really close eye on it. And look at that Lululemon now. That's going in the green there. That's how I want to have. I want to have 2 trades on, give myself the potential to see what happens here. SPY made an up move, just broke through the high. So remember how I talked about the SPXS or the SPXL? Well, there it is, back through that high. So you had that 150.50. You could have got this move back towards 151. And this is what I mean, that it gives you 2 sides of the trade here. And you kind of stick with the risk to return on both trades. See which one goes into risk. You cut that one and look to what? Expand on the winners, right? That's so important. If we can expand on the winners, we can definitely take that next step up. Look at it here, guys. XPXL back above that 50-50 spot. Could be a way to trade it, right? So you're making money on both sides of the trade. We'll see what happens on Lulu. We'll see if that one makes the up move and it continues through 260s, 260.50s. Not a bad way to look at that. Of course, I'm in at 259, so still close to about $1 away from the price action right now. We'll look to see if this can come back up. Tesla rejected that move there, and so did the Qs. So the Qs just rejected that move back through the kind of the 475, 75s. Now, let's see if this really just takes a quick down move. SOXS might have done that 2075. Yes, it did. I like that. I like that move at 2075 there for SOXS. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'll take it. I'll step up there in SOXS. I just took 100 shares there. As it pulls back into the 70s, I can take some more. We got down to the 76 there. So that's going to be kind of the out there back through the 70s spots, right? So that's the way I'm looking at it. Lulu tried to make the up move there. So it's now towards the 260s. So that's actually looking pretty decent. It's almost up about $50 here. So that gives me the opportunity to either cut that, take the 50, or just let it work. So for Lulu, I'm just letting it work, man. If it's in my favor, I already have a profit target up there towards 262, 263, where we came in the morning. And in the morning pump, this thing pumped, man. It got up there towards 263. So I'm giving it the opportunity to go back there. That's going to be a $200 gain. I'll take it. Even with 50 shares, I'll take it. All right, SOXS there, back into the 2180s. Could just take the up move now. Really looking at the Qs here to see if we get a quick down move. I'm in the green on Tesla. You guys see it. There's Tesla back to 220s. That's looking pretty good there now on Tesla. This is kind of the add spot around the 220s. I don't want to add because I took a different position. So that would be the difference, right? If I didn't go long on SOXS, I'd probably add to the short on Tesla. There's back into the 70s for just a second there on SOXS, and it holds there. So now I'm just watching for the Qs to give me a signal here. There's 76, 75s here. Gonna get a chance to get maybe a low 70 add here. Hit add here, but I'm not gonna expand the risk right now. I need to see the trade start going in my direction. Small first, then bigger later, right? So small keeps me in at 100 shares here. I can let it drop, right? It's not gonna hurt me. I'm in at 83s. It's only a $10 risk right now. Right now, I'm risking about $50 in SOXS to give you perspective. Tesla bouncing there. That's what I was kind of a little bit concerned about. The 5 EMA, the 9 EMA recovery on the 1 minute is definitely a concern, and it's on the same on the 5 minute. So back through this 221, and you got to be careful because it could squeeze. And the Q is squeezing hard there, guys. Not what I wanted to see there, guys. So I'm going to go cutting out some positions here. I don't like that action on the Qs, and that tells me cut the losers. I'm cutting the losers there, and I'm sticking with Lulu. Lulu up 66 now. I could actually add to Lulu on pullbacks. I don't mind it, but since I'm so far from the entry, I'm just going to let Lulu try to make me some money today. So I don't think I'm going to be big green today, and that's okay to admit. That's okay. As a trader, you have to admit that. At this point, I'm down $50. I'm up 67 on Lulu, so I can end the day slightly green. I'm looking for a nice little $200 run, maybe a run back to 263s here, and then I'll take it out. Could I keep the trade on? Yes, but at this point, not going to push it. And at the risk side of things, I'm only risking about 30 bucks on this. So at worst, I end down $80, at best above 200, taking off this 50, let's say 150 in the green. Like kind of a break even, simple day, controlled for me. It's so important sometimes, traders, to understand when you're looking at things and you're looking at it perfectly or not. For me today, it was kind of a mixed battle, right? Back and forth, in the green, in the red, in the green, in the red. So what am I doing? I'm just trying to get myself setups that could get me what? Into the green deep with one trade, right? So it's always about what? At least a 2-to-1 outlook, but really I love 3-to-1 outlooks because that gives me the potential to lose on 3 trades and just one trade bring me back to break even. Like always, traders, I'll keep battling with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's action. Smash the like if you guys enjoy it. Of course, Trade the Pool is going to keep going. You guys, great options if you guys are looking into getting into the prop game. If this is for some reason your first stream and you're catching us, well, check us out, guys. We got great packages to give you guys an opportunity to get a big buying account, right? That's what you need. You need buying power. That's what the prop trading is for. Guys, check out Trade the Pool. Of course, you guys see me use different accounts here, even the swing accounts doing really well today. We'll look to see if those swing accounts continue moving. You guys see it. 3 trades in the green there for me on the swing trade account. I'm going to keep battling out there, guys. We'll see what happens in Lulu. And I will be back, of course, tomorrow morning. Don't go anywhere, traders. We always got a lot more for you guys. And let me know, what do you guys enjoy or don't enjoy on this show? Because I'm here to make this a great experience for you guys to learn, get some moves in the right direction, right? Start learning some things that can really help you. And then, of course, be here to battle along with you guys. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Smash the like. I enjoyed the action today. I hope you did also. We'll see you back in the morning. Smash it up, guys, and stay safe out there, traders. It's not difficult, but it's not easy. But I'll tell you one thing. It can definitely be done if you stay controlled, stay disciplined, stay in that system. See you next time.